Guys, have you ever wondered, should I modify my car or not? Well, we're gonna talk about that today. All while we're putting this car back to stock-ish. So just to go over this car with you guys to get you back up to speed, pretty much bone stock. It does have a B-cam and exhaust. That's it. It's all this thing has. Everything else that you see is pretty much bone stock, except for this eyesore. Now I know a lot of you might like your cold air intakes and stuff like that, but it just sticks out like a sore thumb. So I'm gonna put this back to stock with this right here. So as you can see on the Calypso, we don't have to have any of that stuff anymore, so we might as well go ahead and use it on something else. So should you modify your car or should you keep it stock? Well, guys, that's actually a pretty common question. I get it a lot on the channel, whether it's through Instagram or live feeds or stuff like that. Let's knock this out. Once we get it knocked out, we'll go ahead and talk about it. Now that is what I'm talking about. All we got to do now is clean this thing up and we're going to be almost back to stock. I am missing one little clip right here, so yeah, I've got to source one of those. She's a little bit dirty, but overall it's nice to have this thing back kind of in that stock configuration. And no, I'm not going to be getting rid of that. We're going to keep it because we're always working on a project that may kind of get our next project up and running. We may not have this factory set up right here, so that'll help us out, get us back going. So let's talk about the topic at hand tonight, which is, should you modify your car or should you keep it stock? Well, guys, obviously, there's a bunch of different deciding factors there. So what I want to talk about first is you need to know what you're going to do with your car. So if you're going to be buying one to modify, why would you buy one that's super low mileage, you know, worth a lot of money, 30, 40,000 miles, something like that? Best thing you can do if you're going to be doing that is find one that's already been modified. And obviously, if you're going to be looking to keep a car stock, you don't want to buy one that's already modified, right? You're going to have to spend all that money to put it all back stock, and those parts are getting hard to find. Let's use my buddy Ray's car as an example. This car is pretty much bone stock. All it's got is exhaust on it, still got the turbine wheels. I think the car's got 60,000 miles on it or something like that. Original miles now. Let's say you got that car and now all of a sudden you've got the bug to modify it. Honestly, it's completely up to you. Now, I know you're saying, well, that doesn't answer my question. Well, it is though. It really comes down to the question of, are you going to be able to live with yourself? A lot of you guys will be so upset to find out that after you do the heads and a different intake and a couple other things, especially if you don't do a really good job at it and it's not clean, actually it could be worth less money. I'll never sit here and tell you one way or the other what you should do with your car. I'm just here to help you. Also, you may see Foxcast do a video similar to this. We've talked about it. So you guys, if you see him doing a video like that, go there and get his take on it, because you know what? Everybody's got a different opinion. Let's just be honest. They're not making any more Fox bodies. They're not bringing them back anytime soon. It is what it is. You've got to make the decision ultimately of, can you live with yourself? That's the question that you have got to ask yourself. Let me give you guys a good example. Back whenever I started on this car right here, I wanted a 93 Cobra so bad, but I didn't want one stock. I wanted a 93 Cobra with heads, cam, intake, gears, exhaust, maybe a supercharger or a turbo. The price of 93 Cobras, it just wasn't worth it to go out and buy one that was stock-ish and then have to spend all that money on top of it just to make it what I wanted. Also, there's a good chance that car would be worth less money by the time I got done with it. I decided to go ahead and build my own clone. I know a lot of people don't like clones, but I decided, you know what, that's the cheapest route for me, best way to go. So I built myself one and I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I've got the look of a 93 Cobra, other than the fact that it's Calypso green. I know on camera this thing does not show up as Calypso, but trust me guys, it's Calypso. So I went ahead and built this car, and honestly, this thing isn't worth any money. Well, I say that. I mean, it's just an 89 LX. That's what this car is, if you guys don't know. and it's not worth any major money. $7,500, something like that's what I would probably ask for this car if I ever sold it. I don't intend on selling it. I have no intentions of it. But yeah, something like this to me is worth about $7,500. Let's say you can find a 4-cylinder LX hatchback car and you want yourself a 93 Cobra, but you can't afford one. Well, you can build one. You can take that 4-cylinder hatchback, drop you a stock engine in it for right now, $600-800, something like that. Drop it in there, buy the ground effects kit, and there you go. You essentially have the looks of a 93 Cobra or a GT. Now, fun fact, since we're talking about this, it's easier for you to get a Cobra body kit than it is for you to get a GT body kit. As I know of right now, no one reproduces the body kits for the GTs. Sorry, you can get the front bumper and the back bumper, but you cannot get the side skirts. So if you've ever wanted to have a Celine or a Cobra, something like that, go ahead and do it. Just don't try to tell people that it's the real deal. So which one is the best to modify? I'm gonna give you guys a little inside scoop if you've not thought of it yet. The 4-cylinder cars are really the ones to go after. You can get a 4-cylinder coupe pretty cheap still. The coupes are bringing the money. The coupes in the GTs and the Cobras, they are bringing the money. So what you can do is you can go out and find yourself, a decent 4-cylinder coupe. Look at House Abdullah. He's doing the same thing. Went out, found himself a super clean coupe, and he can do whatever he wants to with it, and it will just increase the value of it. So there's an option for you guys that really want the coupes, or maybe you just like an LX hatchback. You can pick those cars up in 4 cylinders and swap them all day. Or you can also pick one up that has been swapped for you. It's not going to be the same thing as, say, like a GT or a coupe that came with a V8 in it and it's been highly modified. It's not going to be the same thing. You should be able to get those cars a little bit cheaper, and that's what I suggest. So do you always lose money if you modify your car? Not necessarily. Like I said before, with the 4-cylinder cars, they're going to be worth more money if you modify those rather than leaving them stock. If it's going to be a track-only car, you don't need a title, you don't need any of that type stuff, so it doesn't really matter. Have fun. Cut the back half out of it. You can cut the whole front end off if you want to and tube it all out. In my personal opinion, don't be taking these super nice coupes, V8 coupes, especially 91 through 93 coupes. Don't be taking those cars and making them into race cars. Whew, man, I mean, unless that's what you want to do, unless that's what you got, you're going to lose money. You are absolutely going to lose money if you do that. So everything that I'm talking about, a lot of you guys already know. You're probably having that, well, duh moment right now. But this is for the ones that are just getting into the Fox bodies and don't understand which car should I modify, which ones are worth keeping. Obviously, specialty cars are going to be worth keeping, meaning like a 93 Cobra, your Capris. Be careful with those cars, guys. If you pick up a Capri that's got low mileage on it, I'd be mindful about going out and really highly modifying this car because it could be worth some money. The SVO Mustangs are the same way. That might be a car you just kind of want to pass on if you're looking to modify something. I don't know if I would do that one. Any of your specialty cars, but like I said, the one car that is gaining popularity, and if you don't know just yet, do not cut this car up, and that's going to be your 5.0 coupes. If they came stock with a 302 5.0 in them, V8 cars, make sure you understand what you're getting into before you go out and start tearing these cars apart, because man, they are worth some money, and they're going to continue to be worth some money. This is just a topic I wanted to talk about. I didn't cover everything in this video. Down below in the comment section, you guys help each other out. If you're new to the game and you got some questions, post it down below. You'd be surprised. Some very, very knowledgeable people down there in the comment section, more knowledgeable than myself, and they will help you out. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. And as always, thanks for watching.